Just overall impressions first. I can start in on that if you want. Um,
Yeah,
Overall
yeah.
impression of Panama Blockchain Week was um, it was pretty impressive. The first day in the morning, Tower Bank, a crypto-friendly bank here in Panama, they signed an agreement with the mayor's office, the alcaldía is what it's called, and they're going to start accepting crypto payments, which, good. And that was a significant event, and it just shows one more positive step here locally. And the other thing that I started asking people in day two about their thoughts, what they were seeing, hearing, and not just about blockchain in general or crypto in general, but what was the key takeaway? And one word stuck out, and that was synergy. There's a lot of synergy going on. And it actually came to light later this week. Actually, yesterday I had a meeting, which I'll get into. But synergy was a great word because there were so many good speakers and experts running around. You're bumping into people. And they all had a very positive attitude about uh, where we were going and if you were paying attention. And these were all projects that had business use cases. Funny. So anyway, the key was I got to know some of the takeaways from this. Just so you know, I got to know a couple of good media people, which will help us long term. Developing media relations is really crucial. And what I mean by that is it's not just sending out a news release and saying, "Hi, look at this." It's really about being of assistance to them when they need a comment about something or they're not sure of something and they want to double check a fact that's been given to them by someone within blockchain. They can come to us and say, "What do you think?" And also, they need a comment about the state of the market. They need a comment about uh, memes or whatever. They can come to us, and it takes time to develop those, but we've certainly done that now. And I was very pleased with that. I had one is local, even better. So she and I spent about 40 minutes on a WhatsApp call on Friday, and she's absolutely thrilled that she has a local contact, and they're really they're really keen to learn more. And she used the words. I asked her what was the key takeaway for her. She said synergy. I thought, well, okay, I'm hearing that over and over again. Good. So the other contact was a much bigger, more crypto-related magazine and online, and he's the Latin American editor for this publication, and he spoke English, which is great. And we had a nice conversation, and we're chatting on WhatsApp, and we're on LinkedIn together. And so again, same with him. It's being of service, being of assistance, and also talking. Explained a little bit about Raptorium while I was there, why it's different. And with him, the reaction I got was even more positive in the sense that he could relate very well to what we were doing. Assets on the blockchain instead of smart contracts, et cetera, et cetera. And I did remember something that we didn't talk about in one of our videos, Paul, and that was the soft forking mechanism that Raptorium has and how we do that. And he seemed very impressed with that. So anyway, I think these are things that we're going to do more of as we go to these events and cultivate them, because we're going to need those, and they need us, frankly. So we are going to be used as a source of knowledge, and that's far better than just having one news release done. That was a pretty. Those two are pretty major, and I was very happy about that. And Again, the second day was more of the same of meeting people that we identified that we could have synergy with and could work with in their projects. And tomorrow is my follow-up day. I've got to write a number of them and say, hey, we got on David's calendar. He's looking forward to talking to you. And anyway, that's follow-up day is tomorrow. So that, in terms of the show itself, and again, I have to thank our benefactor for paying for the ticket. Very, very good investment on your part, because it was a great time for us to get in there and talk with people and let them know that we exist and what we're doing. So again, thank you for that. And the outcome from this, I met someone who is a lawyer from one of the universities here, and it just so happens I have a connection with that university, and I'll get to that. And the lawyer, his English was not very good, and my Spanish isn't all that great. But when I started talking to him about putting diplomas or degrees on the blockchain, his eyes lit up. He went, okay, this is good. So, EdTech. And that's a good segue into the meeting that I had yesterday with an old friend of mine. And I've known him since 2008. And he's probably a year, maybe 2 years older than I am, and has extensive experience in a number of areas, one in particular. And he is teaching at 2 universities. One of those universities is the same as the lawyer that I spoke with. He was familiar with the name. And the meeting that I had yesterday was really about educating him what we do within EdTech and understanding the background of why Raptorium is probably the best chain out there for doing this kind of work, because of the security, because of the growth that's going to happen. And that was probably a good 45 minutes of that conversation we had. It was about an hour and 45 minutes total. And interestingly enough, he's a guy who knows everyone in the maritime space. And he started seeing some big opportunities there, big opportunities. And so we're now looking at how we develop the EdTech side of this, which is universities here using Raptorium to put degrees, certificates, etc., on the chain, and ideally integrating that into their website. So if someone wants to check and see if someone graduated from that university, they could go on the website, and ultimately what they're getting is a readout from the Asset Explorer. So that here's a little a use case, for instance. One university says you can go on their website and it'll tell you put in the name of the graduate and it'll tell you yes, but it's not official until you write to the registrar's office or whatever the name of the office is. Well, in this case, that just takes time and it takes expense, etc. Why not just use the Raptorium Explorer, the Asset Explorer, and get your data from there, plug it in, etc. And then it is legit. I mean, it is done by the university. Here it is, and it's proof. So it saves a lot of people time, money, and it's that hit home. That definitely hit home. We are probably within the next 2 weeks going to be headed to see the rector of a university that he's very familiar with, and talk with them about doing this to start with, and then there's much more. But that was one hell of a meeting yesterday. That's all I can tell you right now. I can't wait to share more. It's early yet, and we don't want to count our chickens before they're hatched, so to speak. So as soon as I can, I will. Just be thankful that there's some great synergy going on here. I'm laughing because it was funny watching him. Here's the thing that was funny to me, and it was by the end of this meeting, it was my friend saying things like, "Well, what we need to do is this. We need to do." So he had bought in, so to speak, and that was a critical moment for me when I first heard that. Well, what we need to do is this, and this, and here's the game plan, and I thought, okay, yeah, we're good. So where we're going to see we're going to have a combination of things. It's these universities using Raptorium blockchain, ideally to start with, to put degrees and certificates online, and then growing from that, there are possibilities for them to cooperate between the universities. And one university has a certain technical department that another one doesn't. So the students can learn how to cooperate across the universities and do collaborative work, which is good experience for them long term, and it's good on their resume too. So there's a lot more coming on that, and my head's kind of still spinning from it. So that's sort of the update from the last week, and yeah, I'm needless to say, if you can tell why this man is smiling, I am smiling big because I see a much bigger opportunity here, and we'll share it when appropriate. Paul, and there you are.